So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I'm joined by Tuomas, and he sings, he plays guitar in Wolfheart, and we're going to talk about the upcoming seventh album that's coming out in September 6th. So, first of all, Tuomas, how are you?
I am good. I am super busy, but good. It's a good busy. This is a time where you should be busy when there's an album coming out. So I fully enjoy this chaotic period of summer.
No, yeah, it's I'm guessing you're enjoying. You already have two singles out,
Yeah.
with Grave and Eventful, which are out, and I saw the music video. Epic. You're somewhere outside. It's a cool looking video. So, Thomas, I know that you started this as a solo project back in 2012. So, I know 14 years later, how would you say like the evolution of Wolfheart has been?
It's slow and steady. It feels slow because this is the seventh album already, and I do feel that we kept the basic essence of the band intact from the first album. So we didn't change anything that dramatically. Like the first album was basically a solo project thing, but few months after the album was out, I already had the band. We were playing shows, and basically that band was what continued on the next studio album. So I think slow and steady. That's what I would say, because every album there's something new, but we never made any super dramatic changes on the. We're getting older. That's at least something like the physical evolution that's been happening. My beard is grayer. That's but if you put all the promo pictures in side by side, you can at least see it on my face that time has been passing.
Time has been passing, but it's 20, like sometimes it's hard to believe that 2012 was 14 years ago.
Yeah.
It feels like, and I know you guys have toured with many contemporary bands in the melodic death metal realm. So you're ready to release this seventh album. So tell me a little bit about the album that you have coming out.
Well, musically, since we were talking already about the evolution of the band, I think this is the darkest and heaviest album of the band's career. While the previous album called King of the North was clearly the most melodic and most mid-tempo. So I think I still fully enjoy the album. I love the album. We play a lot of the songs live. But I think we bottled a little bit of the aggression we usually put on the album. Mm-hmm. On that session, so it kind of amplified that whole thing for this album, so it became surprisingly dark even. So it's a dark and heavy and very massive album.
Yeah, for you, Tuomas, when you're writing the lyrics and things like that, where do you take what inspires you when you're in the writing the lyrics?
It depends really heavily of the band and the album. Like with Wolfheart, I started to enjoy this theme album way of working. The album we released 2020 called Wolves of Karelia was about winter war between Finland and Russia, 2000 and now 1940. And the previous album was about Finnish mythology. So every song had a strong connection to different a story in the Finnish and Nordic mythology. And on this album, it's like a flip side of the coin. It's more the damage and the disrespect towards nature that the modern man has been doing and escalating the whole thing for the past few hundred years and probably hundreds of years to come in the future. So with Wolfheart, I really like to have this kind of theme where every song circles around the same main topic. Not that much of my personal emotions and feelings. I leave those for my other bands, mainly because I don't need to do the vocals in the other bands. So I can I need to I can disconnect myself from the lyrics when the album is done with my other bands. With Wolfheart, if I do something too personal or something too like has a too strong attachment personally, and I need to do the song a few hundred times live, that can get a little bit unpleasant.
Yeah, so on this one, you're concentrating on like the damage that us humans have done to the planet, and it can be seen because
Yeah.
we're getting like colder. Like I'm guessing you get colder winters in Finland,
Yeah.
and here in Puerto Rico, then we get like hotter. It's like it gets more hotter, and we get like we've seen like worse hurricanes, like worse earthquakes. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's scary that that happens. I don't know what's gonna happen 100 years from now. We'll both be dead. So
I hope that
I,
the technology and medicine doesn't go that far.
oh
I
no
don't
no.
want to live too long in the future. I don't
I
think
know
it's
there's people that say like, oh, they would love to live like they're like 110 or 120. I'm like, what the fuck are you going to do at 110 and
that's
120? Like,
that's exactly my point. Like I would like to be able to peek into the future, like just travel for into the future, like for 1 week and come back. I don't want to live 100 years more to
yeah.
see how things look then, because yeah, I don't think I would be able to like keep myself inspired and excited about life for that long. I think that at the moment, the period we basically live active life is pretty like ideal.
Yeah, and plus every conversation that you start will be like, "Oh, you remember this person is dead."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like every, I don't know. I think that when I'm hanging out with my parents, a lot of the conversations they're like, "Oh, remember him? Yes, he died."
yeah,
Like, like I'm like that's kind of sad. But it comes a time like, yeah, like I don't want to live like at a time like where everyone's dead and I'm the only one living. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, but it's interesting. I'm also very interested in those like I follow those books about the blue zones, those places in the earth where they like live longer.
Yeah.
But it's funny, I you know why they call it the blue zone, right?
No.
Because the guy who discovered it had a blue magic marker.
So he marked them with blue
So
color. A very
he marked it
scientific.
with blue.
Yeah,
That's it. There's nothing like you think like, oh, maybe there's a like a deeper meaning, but no,
yeah, yeah.
that's the meaning.
Okay.
So yeah, so on this album, you're focusing on things that have to do with the earth. So I'm gonna show the artwork for the upcoming album. So here it is, Draconian Darkness. I hadn't mentioned the name of the album. So yeah, this is a very cool album artwork. Tell me a little bit about the album artwork, who made it, and what you were trying to convey.
It's like the previous album, King of the North. It was a lot of similarities in at least the main symbolic elements on the cover. It had like a bear skull. It had the antlers also, but it was more like a totem picture for the bear as a King of the North. That's where the album title comes from. On this album, since this is the previous album was about the time where Nordic people were living in perfect harmony with the nature, and we respected the nature. We only killed what we needed. Like we didn't take anything from the nature that wasn't vital for our living, and we worship animals like bears as demigods of the forest. We were praying for sun. We were praying for like rain. We had a very healthy relationship with nature. So that album is about the respect towards the nature. This album is the opposite thing. So this cover is basically the funeral wreath of the world. It has the human skull. It has the severed antlers. It has the dead leaves and branches. It has the skeletons of snakes. That's like that's something you, if Earth would have a grave, so to speak, this is something you would decorate the grave with. That's what I wanted to go with the cover. Like make it beautiful, make it like a very nature inspired, but also so it kind of like represents the little bit darker meaning with the album. We've been working with the same graphic guy, Nikos from Greece, for I think this is 7th or 8th album that I've been doing with him. He does all my bands at the moment. And
How many
yeah,
bands are you in?
I 3 active at the moment.
Wow, that's a lot of bands. Yeah.
So it's and it especially when I like it's been very busy release cycle. Like this year there's still one album coming out with one of my bands. Next year there will be 1 or 2. Last year there was 2. So it's to be able to have like this core team that I have the same sound engineers when I go to the studio. I have the same graphic guy who handles my merchandise and album cover graphic and stuff like that. And when you are able to find somebody who understands your vision and like gets your point, but is still able to elevate that, like bringing another layer to my ideas, I think that's basically a blessing for an artist, because then I save so much time and energy, and I can just send my graphic guy a few songs, give some guidelines, and get this kind of like stunning artwork.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool artwork, and yeah, it looks metal, which is the other important thing.
It
And I
is.
like the name of the album with Draconian Darkness because it has that menacing side to it.
Yeah.
So
Because I wanted to like to keep it kind of like poetic, but still it has to be dark. It has to be darker than the previous albums we've done, but it has to be also like a subtle thing. It like we are playing Nordic metal. We are not playing plain death metal or black metal. So it's always a little bit like a balancing thing when you are going into like a little bit darker areas.
oh yeah. So yeah, I like that your last album was called The King of the North. I don't know why I think of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like you could have been an extra in that show. I would have believed you.
I would rather do some kind of Viking. The Vikings, for example. That
Yeah, I
there's
think that ended, but yeah, I know that for that show, Game of Thrones, I remember there was an episode that 2 dudes from Mastodon were,
yeah. I saw that. Yeah, that was cool.
and I remember when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I'm like, those are the people from Mastodon. People that don't, they're like, we don't care who they are. I'm like, I'm like, oh, there they are, and they were perfectly cast.
Yeah.
As the
Yeah,
wild things, like
yeah, they look exactly like they didn't need any like
they didn't
like
get any
makeup
makeup.
or anything. It's just put the clothes on and you're gonna fit right in.
Yeah. I think they couldn't show their tattoos or anything like that. But yeah, no, it was awesome. So yeah, you could have been or in a biking show or anything like that. They could have put you. Why did like when you're picking like a single for this album, you came out with Gray. Why did you pick that song as a single?
The whole process of selecting the singles was horribly difficult this time. Like usually there's always like a really clear 2 or 3 songs on the album, and then there's certain battle to pick up the fourth if there's gonna be 4 singles to begin with. But on this album, we were doing a lot of like talking with the management and the label and inside the band. And this is the first time that every song on the album got some votes. There was no clear winner or clear loser. So we are actually doing videos from 6 songs totally.
Wow.
Two of the videos are coming out after the album release, like as a follow-up. But even picking up the 6 songs was difficult. Still, it feels that there are songs that should have been singles. So
you already have 2 singles, so there's 4 more. I'm trying to think which one will be. I'm sure Trial by Fire is gonna be one, right? Maybe.
Well, I don't know when this is coming out, so I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Yeah, let's not spoil it. Let's talk about the ones that are out now. So Grave. So Grave was the first initial one. What's Grave about? Because I think I have a clear understanding, but
it's about like every song has a different approach to the main theme. Like this, like the legacy of modern mankind destroying and killing and burning the whole world, basically. So Grave is more like about this like a vengeance and this silly like inbuilt need for this eye for an eye kind of behavior. that because of that, I don't think mankind is ever going to be able not to have war, not to have battle, not to have like this cycle of retribution. That's basically what the song is about. Like, you need to answer violence with violence. You fire against fire. It's just cycle that never ends. It's and it's not cultural thing. It's not religious thing. It's just basic human behavior.
It's a human thing, because like humans throughout history, like you kill someone, then I gotta kill someone from them, and then it goes in that cycle.
Exactly. Yeah.
So a cycle of grief. So yeah, it's a great track. And then you have Eventful, which that was a little bit different, I think, a little bit like musically. Tell me a little bit about that one.
Well, that was, I can say it now since it's out already, and it's been doing really well in with the video on YouTube, and a huge amount of really good feedback, even better than the Grave. So now I can say it. I wasn't allowed to say that before, but that was not my favorite. So that was one of the songs I would never pick as a single song. I don't know why. Sometimes some songs just resonate.
Are you talking about Grave, right?
No, Evenfall.
Evenfall. You never picked that as a single, yeah.
No, that didn't get any votes from me, but everybody else was voting for that. So I was like, okay, fine. That's gonna be a single. Because I do understand that as a songwriter, I have a different relation with the songs. I don't hear the songs the same way than the basic listener or my bandmates, because I have like different connections with the music since I wrote the songs. So I do have this like kind of reverse veto thing. Like if I hear a lot of different feedback than my own opinion, then I just excuse myself from the equation, and I don't like force any decisions. But if I would have been the only one making decision of the single songs, that probably wouldn't be a single song. But now looking back at the thing, seeing how happy the fans are, and seeing all the feedback, and a lot of people like saying like this is the Wolfheart they've been waiting to hear for years, and I don't hear that connection. To me, it's just one song of the new album. But yeah, it's I'm super happy about it.
But I think it's better than, let's say that if you would have brought a song that you love and then you put it out and people would have been like, yeah, this song that we don't like it. You would have been like, what? It's my favorite song and people don't like it.
Yeah, that's why I always ask, of course, my bandmates, but the management of the label also about the single songs, because my favorite songs doesn't mean at all that it's the best songs to represent the album or best songs to introduce my band to new listeners. My favorites come from a different source. So it's I'm like 1 year later, I can be more objective about the album and hear the music as a music only. But I need to say that it doesn't, even though that the Evenfall wasn't my favorite pick for the single, it doesn't mean that I don't love the song. It's one of the songs that makes the album whole. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good thing that people are liking it. So so I know in a few months in November you are touring. I think it's North America, right?
It's Europe first.
It's Europe first. And you're gonna be, I know it's Dark Tranquility. Who else is gonna be on that tour?
Dark Tranquility, Moonspell, and Hirais. It's a German band. We're gonna do a Finnish tour in September. So this European tour is November, and then we are now hoping to close the North American tour for February hopefully in a few weeks. So that would be the main plan for the first half of the year with the album.
Yeah, you're going to tour when it's cold, but you're used to cold, so
that's not, yeah. Like I'm from cold enough country that like unless we go to Alaska or place like that, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all.
No. I think I don't know. I think it's worse to tour when it's really hot.
It is.
Especially if you're doing outdoor.
Yeah. And even like with I think it was like 5 years ago, we did the summer tour in Europe, which is pretty rare. Like Europe is full of festivals. Usually you do only festivals, but our agency and management thought it might be good, like since we are in Europe doing the festivals, let's do club shows on the weeks. We were like 6 weeks on the road. It was one of the hottest summers in France and Spain, for example, in like 25 years. The AC broke down from the bus, so it was basically impossible to sleep. It was like a sauna, basically. It was like dangerously hot the whole time. So that, I think that's the worst thing ever could happen, because even like I've been on a tour during the winter where the heating breaks down from the bus. But you can just you put more clothes on, you have 2 blankets, you will survive. You don't die, you don't freeze to death. You can manage, but when it's too hot, there's just yeah.
Yeah, no. I know what it's like when it's too hot, and like, yeah, I rather like put some clothes on if it's cold. So Wolfheart, many themes coming. The album will be out September 6th. So I'll put the link for the pre-orders for people who want to get the vinyl and everything. For you, like, you were talking about tours and stuff. Like, if you would be able to tour, like a dream tour, like opening for a band, like which band? It could be a band that exists or doesn't exist. Would you like it be like a dream to open for?
That is a really, really, really tricky one. Because of course, I would like to be able to play with one of my all-time favorite bands like Metallica, but it would be horrible to share the stage with them, because it's huge arena, it's a circular stage. Because I want to do a club tour with the capacity of like 1,000 for each venue, because that's the most intimate and best energy with the audience, and you still have a big stage, but then again, that limits the size of the band also that we could tour with it. I don't know. Like musically, if Dissection is a Swedish melodic black metal band, if they would exist, musically, I would like to do that. But they were really, really black metal band, like very to the core. So I don't think that they would take us at any time. So that would be like musically, it would be my dream. Otherwise, it would be horribly awkward with them, because we wouldn't share any of the ideology. But bands that doesn't exist anymore.
No, opening for Metallica would be cool. Like,
yeah, opening for Metallica if they would do this club tour.
Yeah, I think they sometimes play. I remember.
They have done this like a small like special shows where they don't announce that it's Metallica. It's like they tell it's a cover band of Metallica, and suddenly the guys are on the stage, and yeah, that would be super cool. But I don't want to do this arena thing. It's just not my thing at all.
It's huge. I like more intimate shows. When you can like more, like it's more intimate. The music sounds better because it's a smaller venue. So yeah, that would be cool. So from the new album, right now, like, can you say which right now is your favorite track?
Right now, probably Trial by Fire.
I said Trial by Fire. I'm like, yeah. That's a cool song. And Judas Priest has a song on their new album called Trial by Fire too.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that, but
like if
no connection.
If every metal band would like say like, no, we can do this. Like there's a lot of metal bands that will do a song with come on, it's gonna happen. You're going to. Yeah, but hey, it's cool to have a song title that Judas Priest also has, but it doesn't sound the same. But yeah. So Tuomas, I want to thank you for taking some time to chat with me about Wolfheart, the upcoming album. So anything before we go that you'd like to say to the fans before we go?
Just one thing actually I do want to say, because I see the whole music industry and metal scene also being in a complicated phase with the album sales dropping and labels are disappearing, and it's more difficult to tour. support your underground, local bands. They're gonna be hopefully the big bands in the future, but it doesn't happen if you don't show some support and love. I remember when I started like late 19s, it was super active in the underground, and it was very like easy to come up, like step up as an upcoming band. But I don't see that too much nowadays anymore. So go to the shows and buy the t-shirts. It doesn't need to be huge band. Just give some support.
Yeah, usually when I go to shows, I like to buy the t-shirts because like that helps. And also if you can buy on Bandcamp stuff.
Yeah, something directly that goes directly to the band, not the
go
label,
directly
not
to
the
the band.
agency, not the management, but something that is actually band's own product. Yeah.
Own product, because unlike what the Spotify CEO tells you, it's not. It doesn't cost $0 to create content.
No,
I
no.
know, because I basically doing YouTube videos is creating content, and no,
Yeah.
it's it's time consuming. So please support the underground metal scene, because hey, every band that you now love started in a club.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone starts small. So Tuomas, so again, thank you for joining me here virtually on the couch from Finland to Puerto Rico. So people, Draconian Darkness out September the 6th. I'm gonna put the link for people who want to pre-order the album. So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.